Hello, welcome to Zach Madison's 10.2 lecture. We are studying with problem 1. For the first problem, we have to find out the measure of the arc MN. And we have given the information MQ and NR diameters. Find the indicated measures. We know that it is 70 for the first number 1 because the answer is given to us. For number 2, we know the answer is 180 because it is a straight angle and a semicircle. For the next one, we can figure it out by the vertical angles because they divide it in half. For next, we have Q to M to R, and we can figure that out simply by subtracting, because we already filled in that measurement previously, and we get 290 degrees. For number 5, for P, R, N, we have to find that, and we can do that by subtracting once again NP, which we have filled out previously. For letter F, we have to go to M to Q to N, and we can do that again just by subtracting 70 degrees. And so that gives us 290 again. $290 degrees. For number G, we have P to Q, and that's going to be 30 degrees by subtracting that from a previous indicated measure. And for our final one, we have, moving on. For number 2, we need to find the length of an arc. And we know the degree measure of the circle and the area in which we need to find the arc measurement, and we are going to use the equation: the measure of AB divided by 360 times 2 pi r equals the length of the arc. And since we know the degree measure of our arc, we can fill that in for 145 over 360 times 2 pi, and then we know 14.2 because that's given to us. So, and that equals, once again, the length of the arc. So when we find the math for that, and we bring the calculator out to find it out. So we take 145 divided by 360 and get 0.40277. Then we times that by 2 pi times 14.2. And that gives us our answer of 35.936. And that's going to be our final answer for the measure arc AB. And now we have problem 3, in which we need to find the circumference of the circle. So we know the length of the arc, which is 12, and we have the degree measure of 85 degrees for the arc. So we can use the equation that we previously have: measure AB divided by 360 times 2 pi r equals the length of the arc. And since we know the length of the arc, we can fill that in as 12 equals the measure of 85 divided by 360 times 2 pi r. And then with that, we do the math. And we get we have to times that by reciprocal to move it to the other side, and then we get the opposite, 360 divided by 100, or I'm sorry, excuse me, 85 degrees. And then we simply just do the math once again, and we get our answer of 50.823 for the circumference of the circle. And now we move on to problem 4. We have to find the radius of the circle. We are once again going to use the equation measure of the angle for the arc of AB divided by 360 times 2 pi r equals the length of the arc. So we plug in our information that 14.2 equals 132 divided by 360 times 2 pi r. We then need to times each side by 360, and we get 360 times 14.2 equals 132 times 2 pi r. So, once we do that, we have to get the radius by ourselves. So that means we have to divide 360 times 14.2 divided by 264 pi. I'm sorry, the writer is extremely slow. Okay, so then we divide that by 264 pi. And then we do the math of 360 times 14.2, get that answer. Then we divide that by 264 pi, and we get approximately 6.163. Okay, now for problem 5, we have to find the perimeter of the object. Now, the object to the right, we can see that the figure is a square with a semicircle on top. And since each side is congruent, that means each side measure is 6. So, since we know that's a square with a semicircle on top, we know the top length of the square is 6, which is also the diameter of the circle. So now we can once again, since we know the part of the perimeter is 18, because 6 times 3 equals 18, and then we plus that times the equation circumference, half pi diameter, and then we take a half times the pi of 6, so then we get 3 pi, and then we have to do 18 plus 3 pi to get a perimeter of 27.424. Alright, for number 6, we have to find the perimeter of the object. And if we look at that figure, we basically just have 4 semicircles. And for the given side length 12, that would be the diameter for the 2 top and bottom semicircles. And then if we look at the other side, length method 5, we can do that as the radius of the other 2 semicircles. So we have a radius of 5 and a diameter of 12 for the 2 circles. We can use that and find the circumference of the 2 circles to basically find the parameter of the object given. So we then take pi times 12 plus 2 pi times 5, which we get 12 pi plus 10 pi equals 22 pi. When you combine it and you times 22 by pi, and we get the perimeter equals 69.115.